What up? It's your boy, back again. Wall Street hit my line. Back again, hitting your line today about the NBA. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask a question that I'm going to discuss, as I usually do on this show, channel, whatever you want to call it. I want to ask, are the Phoenix Suns going to make the playoffs this year? And frankly, I think the answer is no. While I do think there is a possibility that they make the play-in tournament, I do not think they're going to make it into the playoffs. Right, and for those of you that are not familiar, the play-in tournament is the 7 through 10 seeds in both conferences. They play single elimination. The 9 and 10 seeds basically have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs to become the 8th seed. The 7 and 8 seeds play 1 game. The team that wins that game makes as the 7 seed. The team that loses that game then faces the 9 or 10 seed, or the winner of the 9-10 seed game, in order to decide who was the 8 seed, right? So Phoenix is in the 11th spot right now, and they're frankly not that far ahead of the Blazers. So the Blazers could also figure out a way to usurp Phoenix and, make it into the play-in. I honestly think that might be a more likely scenario at this point. But even if they win that first game, I don't see Phoenix winning a second game in the play-in, because let me just tell you who's in the standings right now, right? So you have Golden State at 6, at 37 and 28, so they have a solidified playoff spot. Right below them is Minnesota at 7, 37 and 29. Clippers right below that at 8, at 35 and 29. The Sacramento Kings right below that at number 9, 33 and 31, and then Dallas at 10, 33 and 33 even, right? And then we have Phoenix at 30 and 35. So that means Phoenix is 2.5 games behind Dallas to even just get into the 10 spot. And I looked at both of their remaining schedules, and I really think Phoenix has, in my opinion, 4 games in the last month of the season that I think they'll probably win. The other ones are quite literally just toss-ups, and I think they're probably going to lose the majority of them. Let me just run through it with you real quick, just for the gigs, right? So their next game, which is tomorrow, I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 11th. Wednesday, the 12th, March 12th, they're playing the Houston Rockets in Houston. Houston's been on a tear this year, currently in the 5 spot in the Western Conference. Probably going to lose that game, right? Phoenix is probably going to lose that game. Then they're playing Sacramento on Friday in Phoenix. Maybe they'll win that game. Then they're playing the Lakers. Don't think they're going to win that game. Then it's the Raptors, then the Bulls, then Cleveland. They could win the Toronto game and the Chicago game. Those are both home games as well. And the game against Cleveland is also a home game. I don't think they're going to win against Cleveland. Then after that, they play Milwaukee, then Boston, then Minnesota again, then Houston, then Milwaukee again, then Boston, then the Knicks, then Golden State, then OKC. There's no real, series of games here where I see them getting into a rhythm and really making a run, putting a run of wins together to really get into the play-in. I don't see it happening. And frankly, I've been watching some of their games recently, over the past week. They just look like they're out of it, right? The game against Memphis yesterday, that was a close one. They lost in Memphis. John Morant put on a show. Cam Spencer was talking trash to KD. That was pretty funny. And they just look so checked out. And I really feel like this started when KD went on Draymond Green's podcast or YouTube channel or whatever, and was talking about how he might have gotten traded to the Warriors, didn't work out, which is already kind of crazy to be talking mid-season about this type of stuff. And like, I get it, the trade deadline's passed, but it's just kind of weird. And he was like talking about how he wants to finish his career on his own terms. It's like, all right, obviously this dude's gonna get traded, right? Like, he even brought up that, if the teams want to revisit something in the offseason, maybe they'll figure it out then, and they'll make something happen, right? Like, he's just checked out, right? And I feel like hearing that, if you're Devin Booker or Bradley Beal or anyone else on this team, you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's not really trying to win. Like, and I shouldn't say that. Maybe he's not trying to win. I just don't know if he's really invested, right? And I feel like KD is starting to really, like, he's not really going to be able to shake this rap that's like, he just like goes to where it's easier for him to win, right? Like, he's kind of gotten classified as like a guy that hops from team to team. And I think it would be really awesome if he went somewhere in the future where he really, like, made something for himself. Like, he's the star. I get it. He's like 36 years old and he's coming down to the end of his career, and he's a legend, like one of the best players of all time. Definitely one of the greatest scorers of all time. No question. But this team just does not look invested. I mean, Devin Booker doesn't even really look that invested, to be completely honest. And, I'm a huge Wizards fan, so Bradley Beal, I know his game pretty well. I just don't think this team is built really either to, make a run in the play-in or the playoffs or anything. And it's crazy because they started out the season really well. They started out the season 8-1, right? Like, all the way through like the first or second week of November, like, they were doing really well. Like, November 12th, they were 9-2. So I just don't know what the future holds for this team. Like I said, I do think KD's probably going to get traded. He's the leading scorer on the team this season, nearly 27 points a game. Devin Booker's right behind him at 26 a game. Bradley Beal at 17.5 a game. But this team needs to improve defensively. I like Tyus Jones a lot. I like Nick Richards a lot. I think Nick Richards was like the best trade that this team could have made. I thought it was weird, how they dealt with the Yusuf Nurkic situation. Like, the dude last year had a 30 rebound game and then, doesn't have a relationship with the coach this year, and then they trade him. Like, it just, I don't know what's going on there, but Phoenix needs to get a hold of what the culture is and really, like, dive deep. And I don't know if they need to start from scratch, but I certainly think that they could get a lot for Devin Booker. They could probably get a couple first-round picks, maybe a young star who's in his, or I shouldn't say star, a young, rising, budding star or all-star in his, second or third year in the league, right? Kind of bet on that guy early and see if you can get him in a trade. But I just, I don't know what this team's going to do. I definitely think this team's going to look a lot different next season. And they're playing Mason Plumlee, like, a ton of minutes. And that's not a knock against Mason Plumlee, but it's like, I feel like a lot of people who watch the league, like, don't even know Mason Plumlee and, like, haven't even seen him play in a long time. Like, I literally clicked on the game the other day, and I was like, I swear, it's like, I was like, is that Mason Plumlee? Like, I literally forgot that he was on the team. And I think that's just because I kind of fell out of tune with the Suns a little bit, like, over the past couple of weeks. And I feel like he wasn't being played as prominently earlier in the season. Nurkic was still around. And, but I like Mason Plumlee. I think he's a good player. I just think, like, this team is not going to make it far when your team is not really that deep, right? Like, I think Nick Richards, again, is great. I think Tyus Jones is great. I think Royce O'Neal is really good. I like how they're playing Bol a lot more. I also think that trading Josh Okogie was a bad move for them. I don't really know why they did that. So there's a lot of stuff that they got to figure out here. But as far as this season, I don't see them making the playoffs. It's a toss-up if they're going to make the play-in. I think the Mavericks, might weasel their way into that 10 spot and will likely fall out of it, which I think will be better for their team anyway, because Kyrie's out, with the ACL stuff. Anthony Davis is probably going to be out for the majority of the regular season. So when he comes back, it's like, you might as well just get a lottery pick and see where it goes from there, right? That's if you're the Mavericks. The Suns, I don't know what they're going to do. Really don't know what they're going to do. They look checked out. It's sad because I'm like, they really like leveraged so much of their team to get KD in the first place. Like giving up Mikal Bridges, giving up Cam Johnson. This is what has happened so many times. And, I feel like the same thing happened to Brooklyn. And Brooklyn was able to kind of get some stuff back, get draft capital. And, they're on the right path now. But it's just, man, like, I wanted Phoenix to do a lot better. And I think, the misconception is that, when they made the finals with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges, like, you don't always need to do something else to get you over the top. Like, you guys were there, basically. You just lost to a better team. You lost to Giannis and Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Like, that's a great team. If you did a 15-game series, maybe you guys would have came away with it. But you play a 7-game series in the NBA Finals, right? I just think teams get so annoyed so quickly, and they're like, well, the league's going to catch up to us, right? But at that time, like, Devin Booker was, early 20s. He's in his late 20s now, and he still has, probably more deep playoff runs in him. But, I just think they made the wrong move when they traded for Kevin Durant, personally. I mean, like, you need defense, you need offense, and you need a well-rounded team. Kevin Durant, as great as he is, you're not going to win a championship just with Kevin Durant. Just like you're probably not going to win a championship just with LeBron James. It's just how it goes. You're probably not going to win a championship with just Michael Jordan. Like, it's just, basketball is a team sport, and you need a well-rounded team. And you need everyone to buy in. And right now, it doesn't feel like everyone on the Suns is buying in. So that's just my take on the situation. It would be nice to see them in the play-in. I think it would be more exciting to see KD and D-Book, play in the play-in tournament as opposed to Dallas when, everyone on that team is hurt. But we'll see what happens. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. Just wanted to talk about the Suns, But if you're a Suns fan, you've been tuned into this season, please leave some comments down below. I've been, trying to be as tuned in as possible, and I've been watching a decent amount of Suns games. But, obviously, I watch all the teams, so I don't see every game. But let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments down below. Subscribe, hit that like button, do all that stuff. And as always, stay safe, stay humble, stay up, and, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.